From the studios of Staten Island Community Television, you're watching In the Bleachers, the TV show for the world's most passionate sports fans. Hello, everyone, and a very, very Merry Christmas to you. Feliz Navidad y Joyeux Noël. I'm Jaime Hixson. Now, in just a few minutes, Hector's going to be calling in, so in the meantime, while we wait for him, I just wanted to give everybody a bit of good news this time. And it involves the Mets. And that's the fact that Buck Showalter has decided to take the job as skipper of the Mets for next season and the next 2 seasons after that. So he gets a 3-year contract, and finally, Met fans have something to cheer about. And when you think about it, this was pretty much a no-brainer. I mean, Showalter has had a very good career as a manager. A lot of people remember him from his start with the Yankees. And he basically was one of the men that wound up rebuilding the Yankees into the juggernaut that they were in 1996 and 1998 through 2000, and again in 2009.
I can't hear you.
So, I think we just got the signal from Kenny that Hector's on the line. Are you there, Hector?
I barely can hear you. What's going on? I'm with my ho.
Oh, brother. Anyway, we're going to try and fix this.
No, it's not your brother. I'm into sisters, not brothers.
Seriously, Hector, you really need to stop.
Seriously, you got to stop, too.
No, seriously, you really do need to stop. It's getting
brother,
old.
So are you.
Excuse you? I'm not that old, so you need to chill.
Yeah, but you're getting there, brother. We're all getting there at some point in time. It doesn't matter the race.
Doesn't matter the race,
I'm not
but
talking about ethnicity race. I'm talking about the race of getting old. Everybody's getting there in some shape or form.
I don't think there's a race involved in getting old.
It's not critical race theory or anything. Don't worry. Don't sweat it. I'm not talking about that. This is supposed to be about sports. Remember?
Yeah. So now that you're here,
remember my monarchy. My anarchy, which is I am the hardest, baddest, sexiest man on cable access TV, which you still keep on forgetting to call me.
No, I'm not forgetting. I just choose not to say it.
But that's okay. That's okay. I forgive you anyway because this is a month of forgiveness. Christmas is coming, and all the hoes are around. I mean, hoes that you have to give. And I have to give to a lot of hoes. And I have a lot of hoes to give, that's for sure. I really do. So, that being said, on the agenda today, the magnificent jets of the trapeze. What do we have to look forward to on the Jets?
The end of the season.
Besides that, because they keep on saying, well, is there a silver lining at the end of the season?
Yeah, it's going to be over.
Yes. Besides that, though, do the Jets fans, as myself included, and yourself, what do we have to look forward till next season? Because I can tell you some things right off the bat. But you go ahead. I want to know what your thoughts are.
What the Jets have to look forward to going into next season?
That is correct, sir.
My guess would be a second helping of Zach Wilson. He's already gotten basically a whole season in. And obviously it's been a disappointment, but he has shown quite a bit of flashes that he could pretty much be a good quarterback in this sport. So that's one thing the Jets have to look forward to.
Okay, what else?
What else? I would say maybe a helping of Michael Carter the second. because I had mentioned before that the Jets were really lacking in a running game. I think the
Yeah.
Jets might have gotten themselves a little shot in the arm with Michael Carter. He's ever since he's ever since he got drafted, he's been pretty much carrying the load, so to speak, for the running game. So maybe the Jets should think about making Michael Carter the every down back for next season and beyond.
Anything else?
Well, maybe the NFL draft.
Okay, that's
interested.
good.
I'm interested in
That's
seeing what the Jets are going to do with their first round pick.
And what do you think they'll do?
What I think they'll do?
Go offense or defense?
If anything, I think the Jets should go offense, specifically an offensive lineman, because the Jets still have a couple of problems on the O-line trying to protect the quarterback.
Well, I can tell you on my end what you missed, which is people getting healthy.
Yeah.
Because there have been a lot of the draft picks that they had from this year's draft didn't get to play very much because all they did was get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of their draft picks were hurt this season. So they have to look forward to, hopefully, if everything turns out okay, which is the players that they drafted last year to come in better force this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing they have to look forward to. You know, like you said, the draft, because they're pretty much, I mean, they last draft season, they drafted a couple of offensive linemen, but because they were hurt, they couldn't play.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume that I think another running back or wide receiver, because it's not defense that's killing them so much, it's offense.
Yeah.
This guy needs to throw to someone now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then hopefully, if they have a potload of money still, you know, if they're under the salary cap, get good players, get an elite player.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully they can get an elite player, but the only time an elite player wants to come here, it's either when the team is already ready to win, or it's you get him through the draft. I mean, you get him through a trade, and he's a young guy.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Or money. Money talks always. So if you can, depending upon how much they spend, but I think wide receiver, running back, linebacker, offensive line, they just need to bring those good old boys back. Whoever got hurt this year, hopefully they'll be to their potential next year.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come back, not like Saquon Barkley, and who may be afraid of stepping, and that's what they're afraid of too.
Yeah.
You know, that they don't want to get this guy hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if this guy gets hurt, you need someone to replace him. So your secondary squad and your third squad have to be just as good as your first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think they have to do. Not only do the first part, but try to get the secondary and third, so in case someone goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I agree with what you said. I agree that they do need what you said. I agree. As for another quarterback,
right.
If they can get someone, let's say Mike White back, and then hopefully let him shoot it out, say, well, I mean, with quarterback situation, let's say, because Mike White is hurt, you put all your eggs in the basket for this one particular guy, but let's say he goes down next year. You want that second quarterback to be as good as your first quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So would you come and say, hey, look, I know both of you guys got hurt, but you're going to have an equal shot at a starting job? Or do you go to the guy that you said, you know what, this is your job to lose?
Well, it does make a little bit of sense because the Jets want to be able to see a second helping of Wilson for next year. But I'm still convinced that Wilson is the guy who's going to try to take them to that next level, if anything.
Right, I'm sure of it, but like I said, you always need a second string quarterback that in case that guy goes down, you need him to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my thing on the Jets because I know they lost.
Yeah, they lost to Miami after blowing a 10-point lead.
And he does show some kind of something, but again, so did Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Because him and Daniel Jones are in the same situation.
Yeah.
Who do they have to throw to? You can't count on Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
So what do you have? I mean, really, what do you have on that team? So the same thing I asked you with the Jets, I'm going to ask you with the Giants. What do the Giant fans have to look forward to?
Hopefully a full season of Saquon Barkley because he just came back, I think, a week or two ago. And even though it's been a slow process, he has shown that he can be an every down back. I mean, keep in mind, he already has a 1,000-yard season under his belt. That was before he got hurt. So the Giants are hoping
Yes. You're trying to combine both of them? I would love to.
And have one whole team?
That would be one good team.
Mm-hmm. But the Giants are hoping that they can get a full season of Barkley for next year.
Especially since it's the end of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Next year is the end of the contract.
Yeah, he has to show that he could stay healthy for a whole year. Because if not, then don't be surprised if the Giants go elsewhere to get a running back.
And are they willing to play him?
And are they willing to play him?
Not play him. I'm sorry. Pay him, not play him. Sorry, pay him.
Mm-hmm. Pay him and
because
play
of what
him.
He can do. Because of what he can do. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that the Giants and their fans might be looking forward to. I would say maybe Judgment Day for Joe Judge, if you ask me. I mean, he's had 2 seasons so far, and even though there have not been much improvement, Joe Judge has shown that when things are going problematic for him, he can really lay down the law for his players. And he's also the kind of guy that can fight for his players. As far as a third thing that the Giants and their fans have to look forward to, the draft, of course. If I'm the Giants, I draft a franchise wide receiver because the guy that they have right now, Sterling Shepard, he's played well, but he's gotten hurt in spots. As a matter of fact, he wound up getting hurt yesterday, and now he's going to be on the injured list, which means he's going to be gone for the season. So the Giants really do need to get that franchise receiver to make Daniel Jones look good. Speaking of Daniel Jones, He's on the injured list, which means he's going to miss the rest of the season because of his neck.
Who's the backup?
The backup, if I'm not mistaken, I'd probably have to look that up. Oh, wait a minute. I think it's Alex Tanny.
And how is he?
Well, he's bounced around a little bit from one place to another. I mean, he's not terrible. I mean, he could make a simple throw to a check down receiver, but not enough of him to see whether he could be the guy to back up Jones. Oh, and they also have Mike Glennon. And Mike Glennon was the starter yesterday, and all he could do was lead the Giants to 6 points. Which means Mike Glennon is going to have to be the starting quarterback for the last 3 games of the year.
How is his stats?
His stats not
Are
really
they good?
not
Are
really
they...
not really anything to try and cheer about. That's for sure.
Okay, so they just got him as a safety net.
They had him
because
since the
they
beginning of
couldn't
the
find
year.
no one else. Okay. Here's what I think the Giants have to look forward to. Hopefully, the GM gets fired.
Well, it's funny you mention that because supposedly the Giants are trying to push Dave Gettleman into retirement.
Yeah, because they don't want him to they don't want to fire him. They don't want him to lose face. Which I get it. I get it. I get it. The same way the Giants coach before Joe Judge, what was it? I forgot. He won. So, who was it? The coach before Joe Judge?
Let me try and.
It was an old coach. I forgot his name. Damn it. It escapes me. Oh, that's a nice tree. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm riding around Staten Island right now, and I am near Old Town Road. Not Old Town Road. What's that damn place called? Well, I see a big tree here. Where the old buildings are.
Right.
Yes, that's where I am right now. So, yes, I'm calling to you because, like I said, I'm playing Santa Claus right now.
You're playing Santa Claus?
Yeah, hell yeah. I got to deliver a lot of things. Oh, boy, do I got to deliver. But anyway, going back to the Giants, do you know the coach's name? I think he won.
Let me find out for you because I'm on Wikipedia, and I'm trying to find out.
It was the old coach. I forgot his name.
Pat Shurmur.
Was it him?
Yeah, it was Pat Shurmur. And
he was the one that in the beginning when they first brought him in that he was too tough and then he had to learn how to be more looser. Well, him. I think they're trying to do him, but they fired him, right? Or did he resign?
Pat Shurmur got fired.
Right. I think they wanted him to retire, too. Believe it or not. They wanted him to retire and then go, you know what? I changed my mind.
Right.
But it didn't quite work out that way. So I'm going to assume now that the Giants, I hope, he's not there no more. The Giants should be, as I've always said before, and this is so true, which is the rule of thumb is when you get a new GM, you get your own coach. Unless you really like that coach and you think you can help him better than what he had.
Right.
But I think the GM should go. The coach should go. I think that don't be too surprised. I think the Giants fans have to look forward for him, Joe Judge, not coming back, because you say he lays down the law and he defends his players.
Mm-hmm.
But are they listening to his message?
I think they're listening to his message. The problem is the players are just not any good.
Well, then, you know what? Then that's up to the new GM.
Mm-hmm.
That's up to the new GM, whether you keep him or not, and say, you know what? Your job is safe because this guy did a bad job.
Right.
But then how many years do you give him?
Well, Judge has only had 2 years. This is his second year right now.
Exactly. So this is what I'm going by. If the team is already crap, let's say, and, and you're saying it's just the players, it's not him, it's just the players, that this guy, the GM, didn't know what he was doing. Or maybe he's not utilizing the people properly either. Because remember, look who you have as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't done anything either, but who do you blame? Do you blame the GM for not getting him players? Not to be able to throw to anybody? And do you blame him, the GM, for not getting players to give him an offensive chance in the front line, so that he's able to throw it to those bad guys that he has as wide receivers?
Well, if anything,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If anything, I think that the Giants have enough faith in Judge where they can see him probably turning this thing around within the next 2 or 3 years. The only difference is this draft that's coming up is going to be really, really critical. Free agency is going to be really critical as well. Are they
under the salary cap? That's another thing you got to consider too. How are they with salary cap?
That I don't know, but if it's at a reasonable number, then maybe the Giants can do some free wheeling and dealing.
Because remember, the rule of thumb is, as I just said before, which is you either get a guy that's willing to play for your team, that wants a buttload of money, or your team is ready to win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
That's it. And should Daniel Jones stay on next year? Who's out there next year?
You mean as far as a quarterback is concerned?
Yeah, exactly. Who's out there next year, whether it's a draft or free agent?
Well, free agency, I would have to look to see who's out there. As far as the draft is concerned, the crop of quarterbacks that might be coming out after their junior years, not particularly impressive.
So that means you have to either draft your GM and your coach have to draft that quarterback that has probably to sit down 1 year to learn from a veteran quarterback, or you bring back Daniel Jones again, and hopefully you'll be able to sign someone such as a veteran or an up-and-coming star.
Right.
That's all. I mean, that's easier said than done because all teams want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
All teams want to do that. But why is it that a lot of other teams have a better handle on it than the Jets or the Giants? More so the Jets than the Giants, first and foremost.
It's funny you say that because in the 60-year history of the Jets, not once except for maybe Joe Namath, not once have they gotten a franchise quarterback.
Exactly.
I mean,
They
you could
had
throw out
great
names.
wide receivers. They had great wide receivers. They had a great front line.
Mhm.
Their defensive people were fantastic, out of this world. But not that one special guy, that quarterback with where everybody is in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
They're always separate. But
Right.
as they also say, which is, if you got a fantastic defense, then you just got to score a couple of points, and you got to let your defensive people rest, but you're relying more on your defense than your offense, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But did you see any other games that you were intrigued by?
Aside from the Jets and the Giants, that
Yes.
Packers versus Ravens game was a really good game.
It was a hoot.
It was, but the only problem was John Harbaugh deciding to go for 2 to try and win the game with less than a minute to go, instead of going for 1 and sending the game to overtime.
Harbaugh was an ex-football quarterback, right?
His brother was. You're thinking of
who
Jim
am I thinking
Harbaugh.
of? Jim Harbaugh was the quarterback, right?
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh was quarterback for the Bears, the Colts, and I think the Chargers too.
And this guy's, what's his name now?
John Harbaugh?
Oh, okay.
That's his
Jim
brother.
and John. Okay, I got it. The JJs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Of
You're
course.
a vessel of information, Jamie.
Well, I try to be.
I thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I am a vessel of the women, and you are a vessel of information. I thank you. So, speaking of wish list 2, the New York, now this is a hell of a transition because the baseball teams, the New York Yankees,
Yep.
and the New York Mets, the Yankees, we'll get to the Mets because that's the cherry on top. But all I see from the Yankees, because of the strife, is that they're signing minor league ball players, veteran minor league ball players,
Yeah.
and also who they think that they're targeting. Who are they? And if you go to that stream, BS stream, I think it's called.
Right.
I always say BS. Is it BS stream?
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you.
You know the one that I'm talking about because you have it too. I'm always sending you things from there.
Oh, you mean the Bleacher Report?
Yeah, that one. BR, not BS. Sorry about that. Sometimes it is BS, but
Yeah.
the Bleacher Report, they keep on saying that the Yankees are interested in Cora, pitches. The Yankees are interested in a lot of people.
Yeah.
They keep on, the word that they use is targeting.
Mm-hmm.
They are targeting certain people. And I'm going, well, unless you open up your bank book, you're not going to get jack diddly doo-doo.
No.
And they're not willing to go over the luxury tax as much as people want them to.
Yeah.
And then I saw something on YouTube, I think it came from TikTok. It was very interesting. This guy, I wish I knew his name so I can give him credit. He said that there was this particular play in 1975. George Steinbrenner wanted people to have no facial hair and no goatee, which is no facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
And the hair has to be close to militant. military,
Mm-hmm.
a military haircut, or nothing past the neck, let's say.
I know
And
why.
this
I
one,
know why, because I think Steinbrenner served in the military before he became Yankee manager.
exactly. So there was this one, but he's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone, and I think that's kind of stupid. You know, as long as you look presentable and you conduct yourself responsible, then there should be no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not conducting yourself responsible and you're not looking, the way you're supposed to, then that's where my problem is. It's like pants on the ground. I can't stand people that show their, whether it's women or men. I can't know. Pants were made to cover your ass, and I don't want to see your damn underwear. And this is coming from me.
Yeah.
Okay? So, one of the greatest lovers of all time. But what I have to say is that I think that it's a rule from 1975. The guy's dead. And this particular player, I forgot the guy's name. He had a beard and long hair. He shaved off his beard. I think shaved off his hair or cut his hair or shaved it off. And his daughter would not look at him. The first time he did all this, his daughter started to cry. And to this day, his daughter doesn't recognize the father. Because she was used to having the father with facial hair and hair. But because of the ruling, there goes that,
Uh-huh.
So, but the reason why I bring that up is because, one, sometimes they have stupid rules that are still in the books.
Yep.
And I don't know, I'm surprised, and I'm sure this happened, but you don't hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish somebody would go to the Yankees and say, I'll play for you. Like Johnny Damon. He looked like Jesus, according to some people, because he had the long hair and the beard and so forth.
Yeah.
Right? To some people that think he looked like Jesus. Let me put it that way. So, that being said, he had to cut off his hair. He looked like a salesman.
Yeah.
So, I'm wondering have there been players out there that'll say, I'm willing to play for you, but I'm not shaving this off.
Yeah.
Do you want me, the best player in the game, to play for you, or don't you want me because of my facial hair? Which one's going to win you the championship? My facial hair or the player?
Mm-hmm.
And what do they normally do? Oh, we'll give you more money. I wish somebody had ethics and go, you know what? It's not about the money. Because I'm getting paid a lot already.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be, if you're that good, there's going to be other teams that are very interested the same way.
Yeah.
So with the Yankees right now, it's always this targeting issue. Who are they going after? If you go to Bleacher Report right now, Jamie,
yeah,
you're going to see all the people that they want or that they're targeting. Good Lord, they're targeting so many players. Are you going to it right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You tell the peoples out there, when you get to it, you tell them who they're going after. You know, just read the headline. They're targeting so-and-so. Because I know they're targeting Cora, and they're targeting, I forgot which pitcher.
You mean Carlos Correa?
Yes, I'm sorry. Carlos Correa. Yes. They want him, but so do three other teams or four other teams. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And continue to go down. You're going to see it.
Hmm.
It's very interesting. I'm telling you.
All right.
You don't see who they're targeting yet.
Well, I saw that they were targeting Brad Miller of the Phillies.
Okay. If you go a little further down, you'll see what I'm talking about, because I'm saying they're targeting this guy, the other guy, a pitcher, an outfielder. I'm going, damn. How many of these people that are being targeted are actually going to go to the Yankees?
We don't know that yet because
Exactly.
they're still in a
because of the
lockout.
baseball threat. Exactly. And baseball and Major League Baseball has one of the strongest unions. And I think it's gotten better because I don't think they'll ever allow another J.R. Smith from the
No, not
Astro
even.
incident ever again.
By the way, did you hear about J.R. Smith?
No, what happened?
Well, first he went back to school. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's attending one of the HBCUs, which is historically black colleges and universities. And he's on a golf scholarship.
Good for him. Just like Kenny Smith.
Mm-hmm. So he went back to school.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm. He went back to school. My guess is to get a degree, and now he's on the golf team.
Now, while you're scrolling down, I'll talk to the people about until you find those other names. Let me know.
Well, here's another name that the Yankees are targeting: Jonathan VR, who was with the Mets last year.
Look at that. That's 3. There's more. There's a couple of more. Trust me when I tell you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not too far away. But J.R. Smith played for the Houston Astros.
You mean J.R. Richard?
Yes, you're right. J.R. Richards played for the Houston Astros.
And he was a damn good pitcher, too. Threw 100
One
miles
of
an
the
hour.
most phenomenal pitchers in the league of that era. And then once he was retired, he blew his money, became homeless, he became a drug addict. I think someone found him. I think the organization went and found him again. And they cleaned him up.
Mm-hmm.
And his road to recovery started there.
Yeah.
All programs should be that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's, when you're coming up 17, 18, 19, one of those phenomenal players like that, they teach you in college how to interact with the media, what to say, what to do, how to dress, whatever the case may be. But you're a human being too, and the pressure gets on you as well. So those people with mental health, please get help. There's a lot of numbers out there. I know some of them may not be good, but it's like everything else in the world. It's like having everything else in the world. You're going to have to find which one is the best one for you.
So true.
So that's my health tip for the day.
Well,
find someone out there.
Speaking of finding someone, I found 2 more names that the Yankees supposedly are going after.
Go ahead. Suck it to me.
How about Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers?
Wow.
Now, it sounds intriguing, but Clayton Kershaw has a chronic back issue. Do the Yankees really think it's easy for them to just fork over the money and add him to their starting pitching staff? The guy's damaged goods.
Here's how I would look at it. How much are you paying for him? And secondly, how many years? And third, will he have an option? So let's say he signs for 3 years. You pay
That's
for
just
him
about
for
right.
2. You pay for him for 2 the third year. And then, those contracts are like movie scripts or bigger. They're as big as War and Peace. They cover themselves a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get him for a reasonable amount of money and so on, you're good. Why not? Why not take a chance on him? It's depending upon who else you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
If you're relying on him to be the number one starter, no. Sorry. You're going to have to go after this Japanese kid, too, Suzuki. That's another one they were trying to look after. Go after as well.
Mm-hmm.
Japanese kid. So, you notice that's a lot of players. And they still got to take care of Judge. And, they have a lot of holes to fill.
Yes, they do.
And I would know how to fill them if I knew how much money I can spend and so on. And sometimes, like I said, you have to break the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And what do they want? And, it all depends. But if there's anybody out there in your listening group and in mine as well that have heard of a player that didn't go to the Yankees because they wanted to cut him his hair, please let us know, because I really would like to find out this guy's name.
Yeah.
But what do you think of the names?
What do I think of the names?
Yeah, what do you think of the names, and who should they get out of that crop? And will it help them?
Well, here's another free agent target. He would probably be very helpful in their bullpen. Colin McHugh, lately of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay. I think they were supposed to get someone from Milwaukee too, but I know the guy from Atlanta, he doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
The first baseman.
You mean Freddie Freeman?
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely wants to re-sign with the Braves.
Right. So.
Besides, his life is basically in Atlanta now. He's a California guy, but Atlanta is his home.
So who do you think they should get, and who do you think they could get?
Who do you think? Who do I think they should get?
Yes.
Here's another free agent target.
Crop.
Well, one guy they should consider is someone who's next on the list. Kyle Seeger of the Mariners. He's a good power guy, and he's also a really good defensive outfielder.
Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think they can get him?
Oh, they definitely can get him. It's just a matter of finding the right price for him.
That means they may not be able to get him if he costs too high.
Yeah.
Okay. For now, because I know the Yankees need pitching again.
Mm-hmm.
They need to cover shortstop, outfield, first base.
Yeah. They need a first baseman in the worst way.
And a catcher.
But
depending upon who you get, you may not need a catcher. You just may need a defensive catcher.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and they also got to decide this year if they're going to have designated hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to see designated hitter for everyone?
In the National League too?
Yes.
I would prefer not. I like to see the pitcher go up there and bunt a runner over. I think the game has become a little too one-dimensional in my eyes. Every player is trying to rely on power at the plate instead of trying to play ABCD baseball.
But doesn't it make the game more excitable if you know that the guy, all 9 batters, are able to hit and perhaps win the game?
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to teach these guys to not forget about the other nuances of the game, like drawing walks and stealing bases, and then
No,
getting
I know
bunted
that.
over to into scoring position.
No, that I understand that part. But in order for the game not to be boring, you might as well get 9 hitters that can hit instead of one that, for the baseball purists, they would love it. And I enjoy it too. But I love when some of these guys go, well, we don't know who to put on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, but you have all those players. What do you mean you don't know? All they got to do is hit. But it's tough to come off the bench and just hit. I understand that too, but you get at least 3 up at bats. Some people have to play the field in order to be better.
Right.
So there's a lot to go by. And the Yankees don't have much of a chance this year unless they pick up certain players that you mentioned.
Well, if you're wondering why the Yankees have not been going after any free agents whatsoever, I mean prime free agents, I just picked it up from a blog called Pinstripe Activity, or Pinstripe Alley is what it's called, Pinstripe Alley. The reason why the Yankees have not gone after any free agents is because of the next collective bargaining agreement. They want to see what kind of terms are going to be placed and written into the CBA before they go on to anything. If it's going to be... What was that?
No, I was going to say, and they want to know about money.
That's exactly
they want to know
what they're looking for.
If the contract, how the TV contract's going to play in.
Mm-hmm. So, there's your answer.
Okay, so out of the group of guys that you mentioned, how many of those guys they should get?
I think they can forget about Clayton Kershaw. He wants to remain a Dodger. Now, if you want to talk about Kyle Seeger, possibly playing in the outfield every 162 games, now you're talking.
What about Carlos Correa?
Carlos Correa, you mean?
Yes. What do you think of that?
Well...
You think they have a shot?
I would say so, yeah. Oh, by the way, the Yankees wound up signing Ender Inciarte to a minor league deal.
Who?
Ender Inciarte. He last played for the Astros.
A veteran ball player.
Mm-hmm.
Now, us Met fans also, because I'm a Yankee fan too,
Mm-hmm.
as well as a Met fan, I would say that the Mets, the buck stops here, as one report said.
Yep.
Because the Mets, if nobody knew since last week, Buck Showalter is manager of the New York Mets.
And I think it's the best thing for the Mets right now. The best decision, the best managerial candidate, the best chance to win, most of all. So what do you think?
I think it was a good pick. I mean, as I said before, which is he's got the most experience. And depending upon if that's more of a young team than an old team,
Mm-hmm.
he really does good with the younger guys if they listen to him. Now, I don't know how he's matured in age where he's like that Giants coach, as you mentioned before, that he mellowed out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a fantastic pick considering that, again, for those Mets fans out there that can't stand it because he was a former Yankee,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the other thing that Mets fans always have against that. Oh, Jesus, we're hiring another Yankee. No matter if he was a player, a coach, or whatever, we're getting another Yankee. Oh, big deal. Until they win a World Series or something, that's when he becomes one of ours.
Mm-hmm.
But now it all depends on who else are they going to get.
Right.
And the coaching. What type of coach is he going to be? And who's going to be on his coaching staff?
That's a good question.
And also the medical facilities too. Who's going to be their doctor and so on?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want a player to come back too early because the doctor says so, and then a week later, because on the doctor's recommendation he comes too early, or better yet, the Mets doctor says, "Oh, you can play," and then your doctor says, "No, you can't."
Mm-hmm.
You want everybody to be on the same page. And I think they did that one time too. They got rid of all the doctors at one point because a lot of that stuff was happening. So I think it's a fantastic pick up, and let's see if he's mellowed out, and let's see who the coaching staff is going to be too, because that's crucial.
Yeah.
And let's see who else they're going to go after. That's another thing. Let's see how much is this guy's going to open up his pockets even more so, at least for 3 or 4 years, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the player side, having a 7 to 10 year contract is great for the player, but it's not good for the team.
Nope. Now, there's something that they could probably talk about in this. That's assuming that they are going to talk.
That's a free agent thing. A lot of the times you can't touch that. It's not like you have in basketball where you have tiers. You know, you have the rookie contract, which you do in all organizations. You have rookie contracts, middle, and then when you're there for a certain amount of times, you're owed a certain amount of money.
Right.
But it doesn't say years. It just says money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've been in the league for, let's say, for 15 years, let's use that as an example, then you get a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you want another 7 more years, that's when you start going, wait a minute now. Okay.
Yeah.
But, I think that's a good pick. Let's see what happens with the Mets.
Yeah.
And let's see, and let's hope that the strike ends very quickly so that the Yankees will be able to do something.
The Mets,
As
too.
for Brooklyn Nets,
well,
they're doing very well.
They're playing well, but unfortunately, their next couple of games are going to be postponed because of COVID.
And that's another thing that we have to consider. And that is, now they're coming up with new rules for, I think, football and basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That because of COVID, they're allowed to sign extra people.
Right.
Or people quickly. So let's say that the guy gets hung up, let's say, in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They could sign people. Because that's what they're talking about now, because you can't cancel because of COVID.
Right.
And the Nets are even thinking about bringing Irving back.
Yeah.
They're so desperate that they're willing to bring back Irving. Now, he's had more than probably a year to find out about this medication, and he's still reading upon it.
Right.
All I keep on saying is the same way we had to get all them shots when we were kids, and they never really did any harm to nobody. Just get your damn shot and be done with it.
Yeah.
That's all. If you're not doing it for yourself, do it for the people around you. Please keep your safe distance 6 feet apart instead of trying to breathe down a person's neck thinking that the line's going to go faster. And the mighty Knicks have fallen. That's another team that's plagued with COVID as well.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing rumors of trades with them. Miles Turner. What's the center for I think the Houston Rocket? Good, Godan.
Unfortunately, I'm not really familiar with that.
Gordon.
You mean Eric Gordon?
Gordon Hayward. Yeah, Eric Gordon. I heard his name being thrown around.
Well, I'm positively sure he would want to get out of that situation in Houston.
He's a center, right?
No, Eric Gordon's a guard.
Oh, so Eric Gordon. I'm hearing Miles Turner. I'm hearing anybody from the Pacers except Damian Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm even hearing a 3-player trade that they can get Ben Simmons. I'm hearing the Nets getting Ben Simmons, and I'm even hearing the Lakers getting into Ben Simmons.
That I can understand because supposedly Ben Simmons has a girlfriend on the West Coast. And he.
But I could see him playing East Coast basketball because he's an East Coast kid.
Actually, he's from Australia.
Okay, then I'm wrong again. Oh boy. Anyway, gang, as Don Rickles used to say.
Mm-hmm. We have less than 2 minutes, so try and wrap it up.
I just like to say Merry Christmas, and hopefully we'll do a New Year's Eve show and our wish list, and be careful, be safe, get your shots, and let's treat each other with humanity, please, because don't make Christmas a crutch, because Christmas is not supposed to be for presents. It's supposed to be for loving and giving, and you shouldn't only use Christmas as your crutch. You should be loving like most religions preach.
There you go.
That's it for me.
And I want to take this time to wish, again, a very Merry Christmas to the entire Staten Island area. Merry Christmas to my mom and dad, to my fiance Jennifer and her family. We hope that you have the most awesome holiday ever.
That's right. Like I said, I'm going to be packing them, filling up them hoes, boy.
I almost forgot.
Work.
Merry Christmas to everybody on the CTV staff, specifically Kenny Graham, who's on the other side of the glass.
The Graham man. What is it? Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Hanukkah Kwanzaa.
There you go. So for everyone here, I'm Jamie.
I'm Hector.
Enjoy your holiday weekend. Good night, everyone.
That's right. Good night.